Okay, so in this example here, or in this video, it's going to be discussing the vertically opposite angles. Now, what on earth is vertically opposite angles? What does it mean? Because as you can see, the reason over here is obviously in short, over here, that vert op angles, okay, that is obviously shortened because we are lazy. We like to write things in short. So basically, what vertically opposite angles mean, well, if you want, you can also say equal. Vertically opposite angles are equal. That's basically the reason we are going to be dealing with. It's not just vertically opposite angles, because you want to be more specific. But obviously, because we are lazy, we want to do as little as possible. But I think I recommend just remembering the equal sign over here, and then it'll actually make it easier for you to understand. Okay, if they're vertically opposite to each other, if two angles, or if angles are vertically opposite to each other, then they have to be equal. So let's look at this example over here, right? We have this example, and let's call this angle x. Now, as you can see, right, this angle x is a vertical angle towards this angle, and it is opposite as well. And that's why we call it vertically opposite. And because they are vertically opposite, this means that our angles will be equal to each other. And this is how we need to remember this reason. And obviously, okay, this is going to be the funny part. Let's say we're working with this angle over here, right? And I need you to stay with me for now. We have this angle, which is, we're going to call it a new angle. We can clearly see that this angle is not the same as the other one. This angle is not the same as angle x. And obviously, because this is, and it's all about the perception, right? I know this is horizontal to each other, right? It's obviously in a horizontal line, right? But right now, if you rotate it, like if you take this thing and you rotate it around by about, let's say, 90 degrees, then y, the two angles y will actually now be vertically opposite. So you just need to know how to perceive these angles. And I mean, if you want to actually make everything perfect, you can actually just take your question paper and you can flip it 90 degrees either to the left or to the right. And there we go. There you got your vertically opposite angles. If you want to do the perfection test there. Okay, jokes aside, let's actually answer these questions. Okay, so it's not really that difficult. Let's say I were actually to give you the angles, right? And I'm only going to give you one angle. And this angle is going to be 50 degrees, our favorite number. 50 degrees is our angle that is given. And we need to actually find out what is the value of x and what is the value of y. So as we can tell, or as we know from vertically opposite angles that are equal, we can clearly conclude over here that this angle x is going to be the same as the 50 degrees because of vertically opposite angles, which are equal. So how are we going to write this down? We're going to do the following. We're going to say that x is the same as 50 degrees or equal to 50 degrees. And our reason is going to be, that's going to be vert op angles equal, or vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay, so now that we know our x value, I'm gonna just replace it right now. So we know that this value is going to be 50 degrees. Okay, now how do we find y? Now, as you can remember from the last example that we have done, right, which was on, or the previous reason that we did, was angles on a straight line. And let's just act as if this is 0 degrees. It's going to start here at 0 degrees, and it is basically going to do the following. I'm just going to do this. It's basically going to go around like this. The angles are going to rotate all the way to this point over here, which is going to be 180 degrees, right? This angle is 180 degrees. Once again, I said it's about perception. You can literally rotate your question paper or your page or whatever, and you can see the straight line basically. And we can see that we have two angles that lie on the straight line, which is y and 50 degrees. So we can now answer the question and find out what the value of y is. So let me just get rid of all of this quickly and then make it easier to see all of this. Okay, cool. So we answer the question by using angles on a straight line. So what are we going to do? We're going to add y with 50 degrees and make it equal to 180 degrees, because you know all the angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So we do the following. We say the angle y plus the angle of 50 degrees is going to be equal to 180 degrees. And then our reason over here will be angles on a straight line. Now we can solve for y, and we can minus both sides by 50 degrees, and we'll get the following. We'll get 180 degrees minus 50 degrees. And then we will have to we will get a final answer where y is going to be equal to 180 degrees minus 50 degrees, which is equal to 130 degrees. And now we can just replace our y value over there. So now that we know that y is equal to 130 degrees, then we can obviously deduce that this angle over here, or conclude that this angle is equal to 130 degrees as well, because it's also vertically opposite to the angle 130 degrees. So let's also write down 130 degrees. Okay, so what can you see over here, right? What we can see, and this is just something extra, we can see that this is actually making a full rotation, all the way 360 degree rotation, as the arrows indicate. Literally, the angles will meet up with each other along the way after each angle. And if we add everything together, so if we say 130 degrees plus 130 degrees, we will get 260 degrees. And if we add 50 degrees plus 50 degrees, we'll get 100 degrees. So 260 degrees plus 100 degrees will be equal to 360 degrees. And remember, 360 degrees is the angle of a full revolution, and therefore this is what makes this entire statement true, and vertically opposite angles that are equal also true. The next video we will actually go over the first ever parallel lines, and parallel lines are actually one of the best parts of straight line and very, very fun. So next video we'll go over parallel lines.